This is the Panasonic Aquarea M series. It's the R290 unit, it's the TCAP unit, so total capacity, so all of the M series units are all TCAPs. First time ever, all TCAP units. What does TCAP mean? Total capacity. So that means it can deliver its total batch capacity even when it's as cold outside as -20. Phenomenal. However, added to this, it will continue to deliver reliable heat for you even when it's as cold outside as -28. With the M series TCAP units, they're R290 refrigerant driven, pure refrigerant, natural refrigerant, propane. Eco-friendly, kinder to the planet than R32. R32 is an exceptional refrigerant that was even better than R410A. However, we've now got a global warming potential of less than 3, whereas R32 had a global warming potential of 675. So we're going to give you higher temperatures for your heating water temperatures. So your water outlet, your flow temperature leaving the unit up to 75 degrees, even when it's cold outside as -15. So that means now that perhaps a retrofit property that where it's not practical to upsize the radiators, ideal. So where it may have been that an R32 unit, maybe the client thought, well, I don't know, will the R32 unit still be able to get my radiators hot? Well, this will surpass what a typical boiler will sort of deliver. So the client's existing boiler may be, you know, an oil-fired boiler that can deliver, say, 60, 65 degrees into those radiators. Well, we know we can surpass that because we can deliver up to 75. So, but what we'd always want, in most instances if we can, is that the client is okay with upsizing the radiators. If the client can upsize the radiators, it means we can now run this super efficient system at an even lower temperature to give you greater efficiency figures, so greater COP. So if we can upsize radiators from being single panel, single convectors to maybe double panel, double convector, or if we can increase pipe diameters from say 10 mil and we can increase it up to 15 to those rads, well, you know, then we really are going to, you know, excel on efficiencies. You're just going to get so much better performance for your investment. And that's what that is what this is, by the way. It is an investment. So it's not just about, you know, oh, I'm changing my boiler and I'm going to get my boiler upgrade scheme and I'm going to have a heat pump. You know, this is going to stand you now for a good, what, 10, 15 years with regular service and maintenance. So, you know, this is an investment for your home. So, you know, we've got to think through what this unit can offer you. So let's have a look, let's break it down. We're at R290 refrigerant, excuse me, so we're delivering you much higher efficiency, much higher temperatures using less energy, therefore giving you better efficiency. This M series is totally scalable as well, because we've not only got the 9 kilowatt, 12, the 16 kilowatt 3-phase and single phase options, we've got Big M. Big M is how we, you know, sort of address the larger units, 20 kilowatt, 25 kilowatt, 30 kilowatt outputs. So we can cascade those units up to 10 units. So we can cascade in sequence. So let's say, for example, a stately home may have a heat load of, say, I don't know, pull a figure out of the air, 150 kilowatts. Well, okay, then we'll cascade 5, 30 kilowatts, 30 Big M's. Brilliant. Now we've got a super efficient heating solution and hot water solution in that property and been able to take out the fossil fuel. So now the home's a healthier environment and it's got much more efficient heating and hot water. So the M series is totally scalable, and in my opinion, you know, it's absolutely amazing. This technology really does need applauding. So For the M series itself, we've said it's a TCAP, total capacity. It can deliver its full badge rating. There's no drop off on its output as the temperatures get below zero. So you may have some heat pumps that have a capacity chart, we call it a drop off chart. So at -2, it may only, so let's just keep a simple figure. Let's say something's a 10 kilowatt heat pump. At -2 degrees, it can now at 50 degrees flow only be 8.5 kilowatts, let's say, and so on and so forth. So with a drop-off chart, so as it gets colder outside, some units begin to drop off. With a TCAP, there's no drop-off. So this is a 9 kilowatt unit. Even when it's -20 outside, it's going to be a 9 kilowatt unit. There's no drop-off performance in kilowatt output. So there's another tip. So combine that now with the efficiency that the R290 is giving us. Let's now talk about pairing it with a larger hot water cylinder. Well, we just demonstrated in an earlier video how quickly it's got to temperature, and bear in mind I'd set it to 65, not 50, I set it to 65 degrees, and from it being 20 in the tank, we got it to 66, I think it was in the last video, 66 degrees, and look, let's face it, it didn't take long at all. I think it was just less than an hour. So the efficiency, if you've got a larger volume usage in your home, where you're going to need a 300 litre tank, then under normal circumstances, your hot water may be set at 48, 50 degrees, probably no more than 55. And you know, when we commission it, we do the set point, we do the recharge set point at -8. So if it was 50 degrees and we set it at -8 to recharge, that would mean at 42 degrees, this unit would pause heating operation. If it was in heating for your radiator or underfloor, it would pause that operation briefly, switch back to hot water, and raise you back up to your 50 degrees again. So, you know, that would be a super quick recharge. A lot quicker than the R32 models. You know, so this is fantastic. There's a variety of options that you can have with the M series. So our circumstance here, we've got the control module. Now it's a bit high on the wall because we're a bit tight on space on this wall now because of the radiators as well. And we've got all the G3 kit and the base in there as well. So we're a bit tight. So in order for you to be able to see it, that adds it higher on the wall. So forgive us on that one. The control module, for a retrofit scenario, that would be in the plant room or in the airing cupboard, ideally, with all the indoor equipment. Or if there was an adjoining garage, you could use the back wall of the garage to map everything out, all the indoor equipment, and the control module would be amongst that. So what would wire into it is the tank sensor, your 3-port valve would wire into it. All the sort of indoor equipment that you're using would wire to the control module. It would have its own indoor supply as well. The outdoor unit would have its outdoor supply, electrical supply. Rotary isolation switch would be put outside of, it'd be put a certain distance away, we call our safe zone. Safe zone, we don't really want, you know, R290 units next to openable windows or openable doors, or by grids, or by ventilation for basements, for example. And the same for our rotary isolation switches, we normally want them just outside the safe zone. And then how these engage is through C1, C2 terminal. It's just a 2-core cable. So, you know, that's how all the information is relayed backwards and forwards between the indoor and the outdoor equipment. So, we've got the heat pump, the control module, the tank, the 3-port valve, the G3 kit, etc. And we've got one zone of radiators, just to simulate a working system with one zone of radiators. However, it may be that you, the homeowner, might want a larger cylinder. So if you wanted a larger cylinder, you'd have the Panasonic bi-blocks, you'd have the heat pump, the wall-mounted bi-block, which has the hydraulics, the magnetic filter, the 3 or 6 kilowatt backup heater available as well as an option. And then you'd have your third party, say 400 litre tank. The Panasonic Aquarea is only a 200 or a 300. and they're made by also, by the way, so one of the best cylinders in the world. So that would be option 2. Option 3, you would have the M series with one of my favourites, which is the all-in-one. Now the all-in-one options with the M series now, there's just have to double check, but I think it's 150, the smaller one now. Then you've got your 185, which has always been, and then we've got the larger 270. So there's 3 all-in-one options to go with the M series. So there's 3 options. And then also, if you saw the earlier video, this Panasonic controller, it can be demounted from the CM E5 control module. That's its part code, by the way, because it's single phase. That's the CM E5. If it was 3 phase, it was CM E8. But if you wanted to use the Panasonic controller as maybe the room thermostat, put it in a central location, you can, dismount it, put the Panasonic blanking plate in its place, and then you can connect it with like a 0.75 or a 1mm 2-core comms cable, something like CY or a Belden cable, something like that. And then, just wire it in on the control module PCB and put your thermostat somewhere else. So, that's another option. Or you can just have the M series with the controller itself. So, don't forget, we can do hot water only solutions, we can do heating only solutions, and we can cascade up to 10 units. So there really is a multitude of options now, from the smallest of residential dwellings up to larger stately homes and country manors, and larger commercial buildings now. So up to 300 kilowatts of efficient heat with great COP figures, A++ rated, and please get in touch if you want to discuss your project with us.